Hi, I'm Beverly Keel. I'm here at the Tennessee Performing Arts Center with Jeff Obafemi Carr and Eddie George. They are stars of the explosive drama Topdog Underdog, which we're going to talk about today. And this is a two-man play that explores the close relationship between two brothers, Lincoln and Booth. So first tell me, who plays whom?
I'd be the elder brother, slightly elder brother, Lincoln.
Slightly, I don't know about
Slightly,
that.
man.
I play the younger brother, Booth.
First of all, for our audience, tell us a little bit about this play.
Topdog Underdog is considered a darkly comic fable of brotherly love, sibling rivalry. It's a 2002 Pulitzer Prize winner, Susan Laurie Parks. Originally started in the Public Theater in New York and went to Broadway with Jeffrey Wright and Don Cheadle, two of the finest actors ever to be on stage. And it went farther with a manifestation with Most Def and Jeffrey Wright, and just really just lit up stages all over regional theater. And it's just a very powerful piece about two guys who have made their way with each other all their lives and are now trying to find a way to go to another level.
Yeah.
Now, is there a message or theme that resonated with you or that you hope that the audience takes home?
I would say for me, Eddie probably adds some other things. I'd say I hope the audience is surprised, is confused.
We're confused.
Happy.
I hope they're just as confused as
Tickled
we
to
are.
death. I mean, it makes you question. It's humanity. It's the rap and the flap. It's the hip and the hop. It's the ugly and the beautiful. It's all that wrapped up in one.
Yeah, it is. It definitely lives up to the name of Topdog Underdog because it shifts. I mean, it's such a ride, and for I guess as actors, as Jeff and I are playing it, we go along with that ride. We want to take the audience on that ride because I'm pretty sure that it resonates with them of their own challenges or what they've had to go through with their own siblings, or we've all had our rivalries. So it's going to resonate with them on certain levels, and you go through it all: the love, the hate, the bitterness, the resentment. I mean, you'll experience all types of emotions throughout this play.
And I know that this play really has precision writing and its own cadence. Let's talk about how you worked on your nuance and how your subtleties can change the way the lines are perceived.
That's a really good question because I've done Shakespeare, worked with Beckett, August Wilson, Lorraine Hansberry, just a wide range of things. And this itself is one of the most challenging pieces ever because it was written stream of consciousness. I think she wrote it in 2 days and then went back and did some edits. But the characters talk, and some of the language is absolutely confusing when you're reading it because it's hard, and she spells things phonetically sometimes. And I'm like, wow, what in the heck? But then you start to memorize the lines, and you start to say them, and you find a rhythm. And then you start to act them out, and you find another rhythm, and you realize that it's one big dance. And it's jazz, it's blues, it's hip-hop. It's all of that just structured up, and executing it. I mean, it's not only a joy, I think, to listen to, but it's a joy to act out.
Yeah, it is. 'Cause every time we do it, whether it's rehearsal or run through, it's a new different nuance or a different meaning, and like you said, a different rhythm. And it's like, oh man, okay, you can expand it here or take it in a little here. I mean, it just gives you so much room to play, and that's what I'm discovering. That, me being a new actor to this is discovering that, man, I can really play in this thing. It's just not, okay, deliver these lines here this way. You can play with it, and it's all about response too. It's
call and
you
response.
call and response.
It's very much that cultural thing, a call and response, and it goes back and forth, and the duality is there not only thematically, but the duality is there in the structure of the language and the interplay between the brothers. And it's the duality of night and day, good and evil, joy and pain. It's all of that, and it's always wrapped up in one. It seems like every time I get to a certain part in the script where I say a line, I realize the next time I say it, it's like, oh, wait a minute. Was he referring to something back in? I was like, oh man, how did she do this? And now I realize why it won a Pulitzer Prize, because it's a piece that you can discover something new in every time you act it out. So I'm sure it's going to be a treat for audiences.
And this has sort of consumed your lives in the last few months, and you obsess about you know, when you're at night, I'm sure you think about, oh, let's try the line this way, or let's do that. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, you said it perfectly because I mean, this character Booth has been in me for the last 4 months, and you know, just reading the script and going through it, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, let me call Jeff and say, you know, man, on this line here, I'm gonna try something different. See how it works. You know, and just to see how it affects the character of Booth, and, I mean of Lincoln, and vice versa. And it's been a joy to find that those moments and those discoveries of, okay, you know, that understanding, because once you understand the psyche of the character, then you just let go and the words will automatically come.
Yeah, and one of the things that it's starting to get really tough to let go of Link. Yeah. And Link, it was tough to develop Link because the language was a challenge. The act of throwing the 3-card hustle, the 3-card money, was a challenge because I've seen it, and I lived in New York for a few years, and I've seen guys run that on the corner, and I thought it was just a quick little shell game, but there's so much more to it, and the character of Link talks about that. So we kind of did some empirical research, and met a few people who had some experience, a life experience with the hustle, and they taught it to us. When I got that, I got into doing it. And when I got into doing it, it was like it started to consume me, man. And I would carry the cards around with me everywhere. I'd be in an arts commission meeting and go in my pocket, you know, to pull out a pen, and I would feel those cards. And I want to just whip them out and just, you know, while I'm listening, and I was like, I had to fight that. And so Link started to come out even more. And even now it's getting harder. Yeah. I don't know how after the show, if we have to do it somewhere else, I have to shake him because he's becoming, I find myself trying to talk like him. And I was like, oh gosh, I got to leave this guy. He's got to leave my body. But that's part of the fun, learning the mannerisms there, and that temptation that my character has with the hustle. And the drawing that Booth has, that he wants to get into it, and he wants to master it, and he wants to own it. And it's just really an allegory about shadow and act, you know, flipping, flapping, hiding things and putting things out there and pulling the stunt when the money's on the line. So yeah, it's become very, very much a part of everything I do.